However, that 50 cal never opened up, which was a big no-no because that's your biggest gun. If I take out the gunner, which isn't unheard of because you're going to fire at the most heavily damaging person, someone else is supposed to get up there and take up the gun, which I never heard the gun fire, so I can only assume no one got in his position again, which is like mistake number one. But what I did is I took out the gunner and then I just sat back. There was no way in the world I was going to pop my head up with 35 people shooting out the window. So, after taking out the gunner, I just basically sat there and stared at the stairway, because the only way they could get to me was to go up those stairs. And so I just laid there prone on the floor with my rifle pointed at the staircase. And here's what I expected. Now, let's be fair, that staircases are just about the worst thing you could ever ask for when you're in the middle of a firefight, because it's narrow, there's nowhere to go, and you have to come out one at a time, and it's just not a good position for you to be in. But there are techniques to make it less horrible. And my staircase was particularly bad because when they went up the staircase, it's not like they had a wall or something they could hide behind. You would see their head pop up, etc., etc. But again, there's techniques. You throw a grenade up there, or a smoke grenade, at least something to distract, or you know, a flashbang if you got it. You use a mirror to scout out the room to find out where everyone is, and that way you just can rush up the room and lay fire down on that target. In fact, personally, if I didn't have a flashbang or something, I might use a mirror to scout out the room, assuming they don't shoot the mirror out. Find out that I was laying prone right there, and then just almost blindly start laying fire down in that direction. If nothing else, you're gonna put my head down. But what did these guys do? Well, and of course, then you rush as many people in there as fast as you can. You lose a couple, and you take the guy down. It sucks, but you win. What did these guys do? Well, they slowly go up the staircase, and I see one helmet pop up, and I double tap, pop, pop, beep, and a bunch of cursing happens, and then a few seconds later, another helmet pops up, and I double tap, pop, pop, beep, and more cursing goes, and someone's up there. You think? Because the first body wasn't enough for notice for you, and at this point, you're expecting their tactics to change, but they never do. Just one helmet keeps popping up and I shoot it. Another helmet pops up and I shoot it. And I'm like, are you guys kidding me? And like they're all talking and shouting at each other. What are we gonna do? We can't get up there. Go! And then another helmet would pop up and I'd shoot it. And they never rushed it. They never just ran into the room. There's 35 of them. No, they kept trying to come up the stairs one at a time, one at a time. Here's how it ended. They had to stop the exercise because I had killed so many of them. The COs had determined that they could not successfully complete this exercise. I had killed 21 people. 21 people out of like 35. One guy. That is pathetic. And it's not like I was good. I used common sense and that was about it. They did not, unfortunately. Literally, I killed the gunner. And then I killed 20 people. 20 people by them trying to come up the stairs one at a time. 20! Please try and appreciate how stupid that is. After the first 10 people, perhaps you should try something else. I actually ran out of ammunition. Which was great, because then he called the off right, because I was about to surrender. I was like, well, I don't have any ammunition. I might as well just surrender. But they called the exercise off because the CO was like, you know what, you guys don't have enough men. You're just going to have to retreat and go away. Man, did the COs lay into them because it was pathetic. You know what? I take that back. They did change their tactics. At some point, they started trying to come up two. Like 2 helmets popped up at once. And I killed them. Oh, man. And, yeah. I mean, sometimes you wonder. You really do wonder. I don't. Yeah. And can you believe the XO of the tankers tried to get mad at me, saying that I had picked a spot that it made it unfair, or what was the exact wording he used? But basically, he was saying that I made it so difficult that his men didn't learn anything. Because it's supposed to be training, you're supposed to learn how to do things, and since I was just wiping them out, they didn't really learn anything in the process. They didn't learn how to clear rooms or anything because I was just wiping them out. To which my CEO responded, I don't know, I thought they learned a very valuable lesson. Don't go upstairs one at a time when someone's shooting you in the head. Yeah, he literally was getting mad at me and trying to yell at me, and luckily my CEO was like, first of all, don't you yell at my soldiers. Secondly, if your troops are too stupid to figure out how to take out one guy in any situation, they deserve what they got. Ah, I loved that guy. He was cool. But, yeah. Oh, man. How close am I to leveling up? I think I've been grinding for a while now. Oh, a couple more times out there. What else? That was one of the best I could think of, and just examples of just stupidity. And you're like, man, I just hope those guys learned a lot before they actually went to Iraq. Otherwise, I feel very, very sorry for them. Alright, well, oh, and same guys, we, because they were there for 2 weeks. They were doing all sorts of exercises, and the same guys, this one, I love this one. We actually, at one point, we were prisoners. We started off as prisoners. There were like 3 of us, and they posted 2 armed guards on us, and because like everyone else was supposed to be God, I'm trying to remember the details of it. I know that none of us started with weapons. We were supposed to be like unarmed civilians, and we were supposed to simulate a riot, and they were supposed to control the riot. Well, we were prisoners, and there was like 30 of us total, but 3 of us were prisoners because we had done something, whatever, and they put us under armed guard. And the 2 soldiers turned their backs on us to look out a window. I kid you not! They turned, both of them at the same time, turned their backs on us to look out a window. And we're like 3 feet away. Well, we come up from behind them and take their weapons. It was hilarious. And then what we did is, since we're in the building, and we're basically behind all the guards, because all the guards are facing outward, we took their weapons, and then we'd go up to, and we got in trouble, because technically you're not supposed to take other soldiers' weapons, but no one told us this. And we would go up behind guards and make them give up their weapons, and then we'd put them back in the room with everyone else. And by the end of the exercise, we had acquired like 15 weapons, which is quite the opposite of what the exercise is supposed to achieve. It was hilarious. Now, we got in trouble because, like I said, in the Army, rifles are issued to certain people, and, you know, you don't take someone's rifle because they're responsible for it, etc., etc. But, the simple fact of what we did was just hilarious. We had acquired 15 rifles and armed our comrades, of course. Because, you know, 3 of us aren't going to use 15 guns. That's crazy. No, we armed our... And it turned into a firefight. It was hilarious. We were not supposed to have any weapons at all. That was how horrible the exercise went. But, yeah. There was one group... And these guys were actually pretty confident. But they were infantry. So... We were... You know, I don't think this was in Germany, actually. I don't remember. I know I was playing the bad guys, but, you know, you play a bad guys a lot, even if you're not in Germany. But, we were doing night vision goggles, and what we were is, we were supposed to be insurgents in a shack in a forest, and it was just this shack. And there was 4 of us. against a squad of like 7 or 8. I know usually a squad's like 12, but there's like 7 or 8 of them, and maybe a little more than that. I don't remember the details, but they were coming up on us, and we knew they were coming because we spotted them. They had night vision goggles, we did not, but we had spotted one of them. I don't remember how they were spotted. I didn't actually spot them, but we knew they were coming. Now, the exercise, we knew they were coming like sometime in the next 3 hours is what the exercise was. But one of our guys spotted them and knew we were coming, and there were no lights whatsoever. All the lights in the cabin were turned off. It was a really pitch black night. There was no moon. It was overcast, and it wasn't rainy at the time, but it'd been drizzling all weekend. It was horrible. But we saw that they were coming up on us, and we're like, you know, there's no way we're going to take all these guys. There's got to be a whole squad out there. And then one of the soldiers came with a brilliant idea, and he was like, you know, they have night vision. We don't. We're at a severe disadvantage unless we turn the lights on right when they get up close. So here's what we did. We opened up every door in the shack and waited until they started coming up and doing their final approach on the shack. And then we turned on all the lights. And the light would flood out there, and we could get a general idea of where they were. And every single one of them wearing night vision goggles were blinded until they could get the night vision goggles off. Because if you've used night vision goggles before, it illuminates even the smallest amount of light. And if you turn on the lights of the cabin and they're staring at the cabin, it's like someone just shined a flashlight in your face. And we managed to take out, I think, 6 of them or so in that first couple of seconds of confusion, because they were literally, I mean, there was nothing in between them and the shack. It was just grass, and they were just slowly sneaking up on it. And we took down 6 of them with suppressive fire, and the other 6 retreated, which was a smart move because they didn't even know how many of us there were. Sorry, when you take 50% casualties, unless it's a vital target, you're gonna retreat. It's not worth more than that. Yeah, so that was fun. What's my status? 130, huh? We'll go out to the desert one more time, and then we'll call it quits for now. How's that sound? So I'll only get to level, what, 27? Yeah. I wanted to get to level 30, but I'm not going to spend 4 hours grinding. I would like to try and get this world done tonight at some point. Funny stories. You want to hear one of my dad's stories? My dad was actually a lieutenant, which is an officer, and in the army, infantry soldier like me, and he was also doing a war game where he was supposed to be the bad guys, and he was tasked with guarding this building, defending this building. He had like 12 guys versus I think 2 platoons, which is like, platoon is anywhere between 30 and 40 guys. A squad, okay, a fire team, let's start with the smallest. A fire team is 4 to 5 people. A squad is 2 fire teams. A platoon is 4 squads. And then a company is about 4 platoons. It just goes up from there. So 2 platoons, like 70, 80 people. We're supposed to take this building. It had like 12 people in it. And he was given, of course, small arms, which is like rifles, ammunition, things like that. A roll of Constantina wire, which is like, it's like barbed wire, but a little more deadly. It's like razor on it instead of just barbs. But 1 roll isn't a whole lot. It's like, you know, 100 feet, which means you would only have enough to maybe encircle the building once, and 1 roll of Constantina wire isn't really that big of an obstacle. You really need about 3 to make a decent obstacle. 2 on the bottom and 1 on top to make a good obstacle that you have to cut through. Hang on, folks. Sorry, where was I? And concertina wire, fun fact about concertina wire, the fastest ways to get through it, let's say someone's laid down 3 rows of concertina wire, you don't want to cut through it, if you can avoid it, because every second you take trying to cut through it is a second they can be shooting you, because most people don't put concertina wire in a place they can't shoot you.